could recite to us or tell us what you told us that night in class when you were telling us what God told you about loving your wife.
Okay, all right. I'm Jim. I've been coming to GC now for, I guess, about 5 or 6 months. And I had spoken in the men's group and gave a testimony about loving your wife as Christ loved the church, which was to lay down his life for the church. And I think a lot of the misconceptions on how to love your wife is dictated through a lot of the various small groups that we do, like love languages, where it's a give-take thing, where if my love language is being met, then I also reciprocate by meeting her love language. But that's not biblical in my mind. What is biblical is to love your wife and expect nothing in return. Just like Jesus, he put one hand to the right and one hand to the left and said, "Crucify me at the cross." And it was something that we didn't earn or we didn't have to do to reciprocate that love from him. So he laid down his life for us, and he's asking us to do the same thing with our spouses, to love her in the way that he loves us, and that is to lay down our life for it and to give and expect nothing in return. And in return, in doing that, I found that the Lord really started to speak to me more and started to fill the void in my life, because we're all born with a void in our life ever since the fall of man. And so we strive to try to fill these voids with drugs, alcohol, pornography, all these different things, when really he is the only thing that can fill that void. So if you feel that there's something missing in a relationship, that's kind of normal because of the fall of man. And the only thing that can possibly fill that void is Jesus himself. And the only way to make room for Christ is to empty yourself out. And so what I had shared is, by giving and expecting nothing in return, that God started to fill me, and I stopped feeling lonely, and I stopped feeling like something was missing from the relationship. The second thing that happened is that my wife started to feel like she was married to Christ, because she was seeing Christ's hands and feet in action. Because he told me to stop loving her the way that I love her, but show her how much he loves her, because he couldn't express to her how very important she was to him with his own hands. And with her lack of faith, the only real representation of Christ that she had was in me. So men, if you want your wife to see Christ in action, you have to show her that. And he would give of himself to us, expecting nothing in return. That's the same thing we're supposed to do with our spouses. And in doing so, you'll find a rich reward in your marriage and in your relationship with God.
Brother, thank you. I obviously couldn't have said it any better myself. I've been thinking about this all day. I was talking to a friend who's going through a few things, and I was trying to hobble my way through a portion of what you previously told us in class, and I've been thinking ever since then, I'm just going to see if I can try and get it straight to you, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.